welcome to Flannel Acres. I'm Sherry and I'm going to show you the basic principle of crocheting in the round. I'm going to start with a magic circle, and if you don't know how to do that, I'll post a link at the end of the video here. But this is the starting of the magic circle, just so I can get a jump start on showing you kind of the circle and the round part of what we're doing here. So I'm just going to pull this tight into, oops, without taking it apart hopefully. I'm going to pull this into the circle. So there are 6 stitches in this magic circle. So I'm going to show you here, right around the edge are these stitches, and that's what we're looking at here. So when a pattern tells you you're going to crochet in the round, we're not going to be necessarily turning our work like we do with regular rows. We're just going to be crocheting kind of in a spiral. So when I do crocheting in the round, I like to have a marker of some kind. A paper clip like this will work just fine, just so I can mark the first stitch in each row, and that helps me keep track of how many rows I've done. So each time I come around to a new row, I just take it out and put it in my next first stitch, just kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to start. So the pattern would tell me crochet in the round, so like this would be row 2. Crochet in the round, so I'm going to just do single crochet into this circle here. So instead of like doing chain stitches to go up a row like I've talked about before in other videos, we're just going to go right into that first stitch in that first row that we did. So your first stitch will go right here, and usually when you're crocheting in the round, you're adding extra stitches in just to make the circle come out a little bit further before you're shaping or whatever. So anyway, second stitch would go right in the second one there. And I'm going to actually do 2 in here just so this is going to expand a little bit, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. And then the next stitch I'll do here. Just get all the way around in a circle here for you so you can see. Okay, so I finished row 2, and I'm back to where that first stitch is here from when I started that row. So the pattern would likely say, you know, row 3, you know, it'll tell you what kind of stitches to do, but you're just going to start that row in that next stitch here. So right here, instead of stopping a row and, like I said before, moving up to the next row or turning your work, you're just going to continue into that next stitch there. So I would take that out, do your stitch, and that right there is your first stitch. So I'm going to mark that and continue crocheting in the round. So you're basically doing a spiral that just gets wider and wider and wider. And your pattern will tell you how to do the stitches so that it'll either come out as like more flat of a circle, or it'll start to curl up like a bowl shape, or if you're doing like a stuffed animal, arms and legs, you know, will be that kind of tube shape that you'll be making. So that's one, that's the main way that I think of with crocheting in the round. And another way is just a little bit different. We'll start here with this one, another magic circle. I'm going to pull this one tight. I hope you can see this white yarn. Okay, I'm just going to do a row here so it's easier to show you what I mean with how this one works. Okay, so I've finished what I'd call row 2 here, and rather than continuing on in row 3 in this next stitch here, we will slip stitch to join in with that stitch here. So that ends that row. So I'm just going to slip stitch like this, and then that completes that row that I just did there. Now for the next row, so row 3, your pattern will tell you, let's say we're going to do a double crochet for that next row. instead of just starting in that next stitch, we're going to chain a couple to move up to the next row. Kind of like we did in that tips and tricks or beginners video that I have. You can see a link to that in the description below. So anyway, I'm going to chain 2, and that's going to count as our first double crochet. And I'll go all the way around here. Okay, so I am done with that row 3. I'll try to get this in a good view for you here. So row 2 and row 3 started here. You can see where I did the chain stitches to go up a row, did double crochet all the way around, and now you can see there's kind of a gap there, kind of like a Pac-Man. See that? So we're going to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch that we did, and that will end row 3. So instead of like the other crochet in the round where we just continue in a spiral, we're actually doing separate rows and joining them to complete the row like this. We'll just finish this one up here. Just like that. So there's the basic idea. We have crocheting in the round that's like a spiral that just keeps going and going, and remember to mark your first stitch. That'll be very helpful in counting rows. And then we have this other way. I don't know if this has a name or not, or if it's not even considered crocheting in the round, but I consider it that. And the rows are complete and separate instead of going in a spiral. If you have any questions, please leave those below in the comments. Also, at the end of this video, you'll see links for other helpful videos as well. You guys take care. Have a good day. Bye.